Here we are. We're going live in the middle of talking about the Bob Newhart show, Bob. Mad Dog, was that it? Mad Dog?
Mad Dog.
I think it was Mad Dog, and I
Right.
Yeah.
think Marvel was publishing. I think it was Marvel that published like a flip book. So
Is that a
one
tie-in?
side, yeah.
Epic.
So I believe
Because
one side was the original way Bob was doing it,
The
and the
Silver
other
Age
side
Mad Dog?
was the Silver Age version, and the other side was supposed to be the
Ah,
'90s hip version of that time
right.
period,
The grim
kind of
and
a thing.
gritty one.
Right, and one episode I remember was them doing a whole book overnight
Yeah.
type of thing. And so they were bits and pieces of it that was like, that seems a little real. Like someone knew
Yeah.
what they were writing at the time, because that reminds me of the story of how Marvel Comics #1 allegedly was put together. That
Ah,
everyone went into a studio. You had somebody like sitting in the bathtub with the artboard across, so he's drawing
ah.
on it. Another person is doing the colors. Allegedly, this was done over the weekend,
Okay.
and all these people were putting together not action, sorry, Marvel Comics #1.
I do remember them getting the bullpen pretty well done. I mean, I remember enjoying that show. Ah,
yeah.
Captain Finity. YouTube notifications do actually work sometimes. All right.
So
And Slave
Evan
Jim Reader
Dorkin.
says, hello, Cavern Dwellers.
Yeah. So Evan Dorkin and Gordon Purcell did the '90s version, and Ty Templeton did the Silver Age version.
Tit Goblin says, walked past Mad Dog. Mad Dog 1 is a trunk key for the 36th time in my dollar bin machine. I was just telling Paolo about one of my favorite lines from that show with Stephen Wright as a cab driver. And Newhart had his Thanksgiving Day balloon of Mad Dog somehow got loose. And he jumped into the cab with Stephen Wright as a cab driver and said, follow that balloon or some such. And Stephen Wright said, hold on. I saw this in a cartoon once and I think I can do it. I just love that line.
Although it's funny, I don't think I never revisit the show, and I'm positive that I watched that show before I worked in comics.
Okay.
So I think Jim Lee was in an episode.
Could have been. I watched about half of it again, like a couple years ago, and it was solid. But I didn't get through the whole. I forget how many episodes there were, but it's not a lot.
I don't think it ran that long. Maybe a season. I don't know if it ran the whole season.
Yeah. The second season was canceled. Not even midway. Yeah. Episodes 6, 7, and 8 were unaired, so that thing lasted five episodes in the second season.
How many episodes were in the first?
25.
Okay, solid amount.
Okay.
Yeah,
The Wikipedia article says that Bob Kane, Jack Kirby, Mel Lazarus. Who's Mel Lazarus? Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Mel Kiefer, Paul Power, Art Thibert, and Sergio Aragones all guest starred.
must be all people that were already in California.
Ah.
I would guess that's why those were the guest stars, was because
Yeah.
they were already in California.
Yep.
No, Howard. Oh wait, Howard Chicken was there already. Yeah. The name of the company that published the comic in the show was the American Canadian Transcontinental Communications Company.
So they must be going for one of the old timey names
Mhm.
that was doing it, and then it becomes. Did they have an abbreviation of it on the show itself?
Yeah. I don't know.
Howard Chaykin just reminded me that my shop got in Comic Shop News again for the first time in a while. Roy said that he spent $100 because I think it costs $20 a week to get a stack of Comic Shop News in the comic store that they give away. And he said he spent $100 just to make sure everybody could read the new Team America comic because and that's a Howard Chaykin cover right there.
Oh,
And then
okay.
inside, they've got a few pages of the new here. I'll go big so I can show it to you if you want to see it. Oop, wrong one. It's that one. There's the Howard Chaykin cover.
Mhm.
Then in here, there's the full Howard Chaykin cover.
Oh, okay.
Then we've got, it was actually pretty well done. Some motocross racing action. And who did this? Here's the last few. Looks like a cover in 5 pages.
Called Shaken Work?
The writer is Matthew L. Price. Josh Hood does the art and letters, and Lorenzo Scaramella is the colorist. I don't think I've heard of any of them. The
Josh
classic
Hood's name is
toy
familiar.
brand from the 1980s returns in this CSN exclusive series. So I guess Comic Shop News is the official publisher of Team America, the new one. I'll figure out. This makes me want to figure out a way to bind it into like a big comic book somehow. I'll have to figure that out some other time. Did you make it to the comic shop this week?
I did not. There was a delay in my books, so they were not going to be at the shop.
Chicken.
So since the books weren't going to be at the shop, I figured I wasn't going to take the trip down to just pull
To
off
buy
the
no
shelf,
comics.
to just buy off the shelf, because I'll find something in a comic book shop.
Right.
That's
right.
not the hard part. But part of me was like, my books aren't going to be ready. And it's like I could go in and then buy more than I expected because I didn't have books this week, and I just did not want to go out.
Sleepy says, I seem to remember CSN is under new ownership. They are. Matter of fact, that this issue is issue 2000, and it celebrates its past by, there's an interview with the original owners, and this is issue 2000, and it says in here, CSN 1847 was the first issue of CSN under new management. It was a clunky start, but you learn as you go. So, yeah, it's been under new management for a couple of years, since 1857. The 52 issues a year. That's nearly 3 years ago, right? 1847. Yeah, that's nearly 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it started in like 1987, I think it said. And CSN 444. According to Jeff Johns, CSN was his first paid writing gig. $20 from Cliff to help on this issue. So, yep, it's been under new ownership for a few years now, it seems. Well, like I said, my comic shop owner stopped getting it. I said he didn't want to pay the $20 a week for a giveaway that not a lot of people besides me were excited about.
Right.
Which reminds me, I believe I got 2 comics this week that I was the only one in the store who got. Yeah. Sleepy says only 1 shop in Portland carries CSN out of 16 shops. Wow.
Wow.
Hey, it's Darren Kane. Happy holidays, Darren. How are you doing?
Good to hear from you, Darren. Hope you're doing
You can
well.
always jump on anytime you want. Yeah, there was 2. I was the only one in the shop who got it, he said. But you know what's funny? I was actually feeling a little sad this week as I was reading my comics because it was such a good week for comics. I mean, I got 10 comics, and at least 5 out of the 10 were A pluses, really good comics. And I got a little sad because I started thinking there are people who are, I don't even know what to call them, like superhero snobby people who won't read. They're not even really snobs. I don't know what, but it's like they wouldn't read any of these comics because it's not a mainstream superhero book. I'm like, so many people miss out. The whole modern comics are terrible crowd misses out on what to me was a great week of comics. So that made me a little sad thinking about that. I was like, here I am having a great time reading these comics, and so many people are like, modern comics suck, or that's not Batman. And I'm just like, just
I
baffles me.
think I would guess that comes from having too many friends that like the exact same things, and
Yeah.
there's no variation.
Yeah.
Being in the bullpen, getting to see what everyone likes, because everyone did not like the same thing.
There was a wide variety of
It
things.
wide variety, but the thing is that you end up liking a whole bunch of different things, and then you would talk to that person about it. So,
Yeah.
in the bullpen, you talked a bunch about Godzilla stuff.
Yeah.
You know, Darren, you would go for Darren Uck. You would talk about old school monsters type stuff, Migos and things like
Hmm.
that. Dave Sharp, you could talk to him about Micronauts and things like that. So everyone had a little bit of something that you could gravitate to, hang out with for a little while, and then move on to something else. But
Right.
you get to learn so much more because of that. And I think that sometimes, like when I went to my first year of high school, I went to like a high school in the Bronx before I went to art and design. And I was
Hmm.
the only one that read comics,
Right.
or the only one that would admit to reading comics.
Yeah.
Everyone else thought it was just a stupid thing. But you would hear little conversations about, oh, did you hear this thing called the Handbook of the Marvel Universe? It tells you all the information. So there weren't people willing to like talk out loud about it. But then when I went to art and design, there was a chunk of people that read comics. It felt like everyone did, but they didn't. Some liked anime, this and that. And I think that sometimes it comes down to like who you would go to a comic book shop with. And then with my core friends, they all each like something different. But you can easily see the ones that want to just stay superhero stuff. And
Right.
it's like it's amazing to see that kind of crowd. So I think stuff like here, I've learned so much as well of trying
Hmm.
out different things. When I was younger, I was willing to try out everything, just because,
Yeah.
oh, I read all of this. Yes, I stood to the superhero stuff, but I did branch out. There were like superhero related stuff, like getting into manga. I tried the superhero stuff first, and then moved over to the wacky manga stuff that they would be as well. So I could see how some people will go to one thing and just stay in that genre and then complain. There's nothing as
Yeah.
good as what's in there. It's like, oh, my old books were better. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's when you discovered them, discover something
Yeah.
new.
Everything's fresh and new.
Yeah.
Sleepy's got a point. He says, I feel sad for all those unhappy superhero comic readers too. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
they've developed a narrow idea of what comics are, based, I guess, on what they love as kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They never learn to branch out. They're never exposed.
Yeah, and if they're
Never
complaining
tried.
about Marvel and DC, they can read Space Ghost.
Yeah.
It's actually good.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. So there's things
one of the
out there
guys who
to look for.
works One of the guys who works in the shop, John, he's been a superhero, mainstream superhero guy all his life, um, but he's finally moved on from Marvel and DC because there's so many like licensed indie books that he likes, like all that Transformers stuff, all Universal Monsters stuff. So it's like, I don't have to buy Marvel and DC anymore. There's so many, so much other, most of it is the licensed stuff that Space Ghost and things like that. But at least he's trying new stuff.
There was a new comic from Matt Cave called The New Space Age. That looks very interesting.
I don't think I saw that one. Captain Finity says they need to branch out to different superhero comics, such as Sherlock Holmes and James Bond.
Yes.
Missing Mars is here. How are you doing? And I got a bunch of those Firefly comics off of eBay. So I'm going to
Oh,
show
okay.
you the cover. I'm going to show, but I bought some more. I had another weird eBay experience this week. I had a weird eBay experience buying those ones. But this week's was even weirder. And it made me realize why eBay is not that mainstream. I mean, sure, it's big. and I love it, and Wilson loves it. And we get stuff off. Do you get stuff off of eBay, Paolo?
Never.
Never. And it made me realize one of the reasons it's not mainstream is sometimes you don't know what the price is. Once again, I was buying some Firefly books, just a lot of them. But the shipping on them was $12.50 and $12.50. The actual buy it now was like $6 and $12. And I think it was one lot was like the $6 lot was, I think, 12 books. And the $12 lot was like 18 books. So, or was it 12? I think it was around 30 books, maybe a little less. I may be off by 6. I can't remember right now. And they're heading my way too. I should be getting them tomorrow. But anyway, the guy was like, I combine shipping. And he had like 4 different ways to combine shipping. But what's the easiest way to combine shipping? Send me an invoice, right? Sometimes it combines it right in sometimes you like the guy sends you a new invoice, whatever. So I was like, all right, let me try that, because I didn't want to pay $25 shipping for 25 books. So I was like, okay, put the 2 in my cart. And then there's a line up top that says, ask for invoice for combined shipping. All right, I hit that. And then a couple minutes later, I get back an email from eBay that says, you have committed to buying these books. If you don't pay for them by 5 days, the seller can cancel the deal. And I'm like, committed to buying these books? I was asking for a new invoice. And the invoice still had $25 shipping on it. So, of course, I was immediately pissed off. I was like, what the? Listen, it ends up, I don't think any of this was the guy's fault. I think it was eBay's fault. Because I went back and looked closely at his combined shipping. He, like I said, he had like, if you want to just pay for it, I'll send you the difference. If you want to send me an invoice, we can combine shipping that way. If you want to put down, pick up at store, just send me enough money for shipping. I think there was but I think one of the things he said was I mailed such and such a way. So I think the cutoff was like 20 books for combined shipping. And I had like, I don't know, 25 or 30. So I could see why even by his rules, he couldn't combine that shipping. I still think $25 for 30 comics is a little expensive. But in the end, it ended up being less than $2 a comic. So I said, all right, I'll just pay for it. But I also looked at, it made me look up eBay's combined shipping notation, which is mostly about how you combine shipping. But one of the little things down the bottom that I never noticed before was if the seller offers in-store pickup, you can't combine shipping. So I think that's what it was that automatically gave me that instant. But I don't know. It's like, you committed to buy these. I'm like, what? No, I didn't. I put them in my cart and hit this. But like I said, I ended up buying them. It was all okay because it was less than $2 a book, even with the expensive shipping.
That sounds like something very new.
Can you imagine somebody who doesn't know eBay like you and I do going to try to buy something at eBay and going through all that rigmarole and not having any idea what was going on?
Yeah, I could see that being a problem.
It would make you never buy at eBay again.
Yeah.
But I was just like, you've committed to what? I've committed to what? Well, I think it was, and I don't. Somebody out there must have somehow abused the pickup at the shop option. And that's why eBay doesn't let you combine. I don't know why. I couldn't figure out why. But I think even with all, I don't think don't think in the end, I don't think I met his criteria for combining shipping, and I certainly didn't meet eBay's criteria because he had you can pick up at the store. It's like, huh. But that was just my weird eBay thing, because I was like, should I just not pay for these? And because I was of course annoyed. It's like, should I just not pay for these? Then I did the math and went, it's $2 a book. If they were in front of me for $2 a book, I'd buy them.
Right.
Sure, but it's a thing. It's the there is the tactical experience of buying. It's not. I think it's more important that you get tactical experience when you buy. Tactile experience when you buy than when you read.
Yeah, but usually if you go to Amazon or Walmart.com or something like that, there's no mystery about what the charges are.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no $25 shipping.
Yeah, that's wow. I know the only thing that I've run into that has been annoying has been like, you will like an item and the seller will go, I'll give you a discount on this particular item. And I have noticed that sometimes you have to be aware of what was the shipping before that offer was made.
Yeah.
There have been times where the shipping, I was thinking of buying this because shipping was free. But now he's making an offer. But now shipping is on there. So I'm not really getting the discount. It would actually be cheaper for me to pay the regular price and get the free shipping than get the discount price with the charge of shipping. I've ran into that.
And sometimes there's like a coupon on the item.
Yes.
And the coupon might be $5 off. And then you get sent a deal that's like $2 off. And it's like, but you don't get to use the coupon.
Right.
So it's like, I may as well just get it at regular price and use the coupon.
Yeah, that's happened a few times as well. So there's little things that, if you hit it right, you get the discount and you get to use the coupon and free shipping. It happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, it's one of those things that you have to really be aware of what might change. And sometimes the changes are automatic. Sometimes they're not. Yeah.
You're just a regular person trying to shop on eBay. It's like going to be really dizzyingly confusing.
Yeah, every time there's a new change, it was because somebody abused it somewhere. The one that I dislike the most is you could get this item for $10, but for some reason it's shipping at 30. And it's like, there's no reason for that.
The reason is they want people to just click on that $10.
Yeah, they want to click on it, and then you realize, the shipping is going to cost this much. And the reason why it was because someone abused it, where there was like, it used to be the shipping was whatever, but too many people were abusing the shipping. And it was
you mean when eBay used to not add shipping into the total cost of what they were? Yeah.
Right. So what happened was you had people abusing the system and going, all right, this item costs this much, $10.
$1.
eBay is going to get their cut, but
$1.
the shipping is going to be, again, $25, $30 or whatever, because they're pocketing, they're paying $3 to ship it, and they're pocketing the $20. And instead of eBay going, stop doing that, eBay just says, all right, we're going to also take a portion of the shipping.
Yeah.
So either way, eBay is going to make money off the shipping, whether you overprice the shipping or lower or underprice.
I can see why eBay did that,
Yeah. So you have those type of things were going on. I tend to, if I see something from somebody and I like an item, it's like, all right, I check the store to see if there's anything else they might have that I want.
Right.
And then I got to the point where it's like, I would send them an email. It's like, I'm interested in these 3 items. What can we do about that? Can we do a deal? Can we do something to combine? Because sometimes people will combine shipping.
Right.
And they'll say combined shipping. Or sometimes if they send you a deal, you can't do a combined shipping because of that deal. Again, odd little settings here and there that I've noticed over the years. And so I would say, hey, I would like to get this item, these 3 items. And sometimes they'll be nice enough to go, all right, and they'll make a actual listing of those 3 items just for you. You could request that, especially and when if you're a returning customer to something, because sometimes I will click on somebody's store to go back to them, and I will check that store first before I start,
Yeah.
just browsing to, be a returning customer, and you get discounts that way as well.
Yeah, let's see. Tit Goblin says, the thing I like about my early 90s kid era getting into the hobby was that it was an era for new publishers and trying everything. Oh, yeah. The 90s boom was definitely a good era for getting into comics.
It was wild, yeah. There was a lot of, experiments going on because there was all that fight for the shelf space.
Yeah. Sleepy says, I absolutely love flipping through the boxes in person and seeing what I stumble across. It's tactile, like Paolo says, and feels like a little adventure. See, I prefer reading comics to shopping. That's what it comes down to.
I don't mind the shopping, but I have found myself getting more and more annoyed of how people have their back issue bits.
Right.
If they're in alphabetical order, great. That's wonderful. Just at least give me that.
Yeah.
But now it's gotten to the point where I go into some place and it's like, oh no, we give you the experience of searching, and it's like, nope. I am done. I love doing that, spending hours in the comic book shop doing that, searching things out. But it's like I need a fighting chance. Just at least alphabetical order, something like that.
I'd rather be reading comics.
Yeah.
But now they divide the bins into keys, knobs, and door stoppers.
Captain Finity.
I'm not wrong. And I'm not wrong.
There are a few pitfalls for online shopping. 100% of my purchases are eBay and 0% Amazon. I prefer physical stores, but I'm in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I like buying from eBay too. Buying directly from shops.
I got annoyed that.
Hello there, Comics Progressive.
Hello.
Yeah, even though I got used to doing that every month, I got annoyed that I had to pre-order the trade paperbacks I wanted because I had no way of knowing if the store was going to get one.
Yeah. That would be the time to pre-order. That was another one of my observations I had today watching Mercenaut's show. I always say that we exist as comic book fans, we exist on a spectrum with readers on one side and collectors on the other. And the collector is someone who buys a book, puts it in Mylar and sticks it away, doesn't even bother to read it. And a reader is someone who buys the book, reads it, and throws it over his shoulder, doesn't care what happens to it because the value is in the reading. And we all are somewhere on that spectrum and can move at different times for whatever reasons. But I also realized that on the collector end of the spectrum are people who like to shop for comics more than they like to read comics. And on the reader's end of the spectrum is people who like to read comics more than they like to shop for comics. Like I said, we all exist somewhere on that spectrum, and it can change from day to day. But because those guys on that Mercenaut, what's the name of his show? Hot Book Alert. He has like a couple of guys on usually with him, and they all love shopping for comics. I don't know if they ever read them. They never talk about the contents of the comics. Doesn't matter to them, but they love shopping for comics. They love.
You mean you're a reader?
They love digging through the boxes and finding bargains.
Those readers ruining the experience for collectors.
Captain Finity, I'm at the extreme end. Coffee stains are an added point of purchase on general principle. I like comics that are written on.
Yeah, one thing that you could try doing at some stores to get people aggravated: buy a comic, you fold it into a tube and you stick it in your back pocket.
That'd get me aggravated. Like I said, giving away some of the comics to my students this semester. I've said this before, but I'll repeat it. There were some who weren't comic fans, but they would decorate their dorm rooms with pages torn out of the comics. So it got to the point in the middle of the semester, they were just looking through some comics, tearing out pages, passing them on to the next person. And every time I heard a page torn out, I'd go, ooh.
There's so on
but I didn't
TikTok,
discourage them.
on TikTok, I saw somebody make their own comic book box by buying a regular short box and
Right.
decorating it with Mod Podge as the glue,
Yeah.
and then putting down comic pages and stuff like that. And part of me is like, that's a wonderful idea. And then the other part of me is like, I'm not going to rip a comic book to do that. And it's like, but I have plenty of books that I could rip. But there's part of me is like, I can't do that.
I saw somebody who did that, and they were showing off because they did it like years ago when they were showing them. And they had that Batman Adventures with the first appearance of Harley Quinn. Mod Podge on the front of the box. Like, oh, missed out on that one.
There's that fear.
Good evening, Chris.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Season's greetings.
Bah humbug.
Welcome.
Bah humbug.
Let's see. Comics for Progressive. I bought 2 Golden Age comics today and have leafed through them already. We'll read them over the weekend. All right. He's reading his old books. Titgal, most of the people here that are more collectors would cancel me if I knew the crafts I made with my books.
Yeah.
Let me show you a few of these covers. I won't go through all of them because there's a lot, but I'll show you a few. You pull a few out. What do I got here? These ones are upside down. And these Firefly books I bought just because I liked the covers so much. I'm a Firefly fan, and I've read some Firefly comics in the past, but they're not particularly terrific. But Greg Pak wrote all these, so I'm betting there's also multiple. Let's just pull these one. I'll show you. There's like multiple covers to each one, so there's all sorts of different styles of cover. This one do you guys have what's his name? Jonathan Case. Have you ever heard of him? He's done a couple of books for Dark Horse graphic novels, and he's not that great a writer. His writing is okay, but his artwork is just terrific. He's one of these, I don't know, I'd put him in sort of the Alex Toth, David Mazzucchelli. He's very good at stripping things down and spotting blacks and stuff like that. Buying for the cover. Let me show you these. And I just kind of fell in love with some of these covers, so I decided to get the lot. But here's the Jonathan Case one. I mean, that one's just got a lot of charm. There's 2 of the characters. If you don't know Firefly, you won't get a lot of the references the covers are. I mean, there's the pilot. So his name flew out of my head, but that's just him sort of in the window of the ship looking out at space.
I think his name is Watch.
Here's another one, just some of the characters. Looks like they're on a world. I guess they go out there and have adventures. A world with an Old West theme in one of the episodes, so I'm guessing that's what that is.
Well, the costumes are based on Old West designs.
Because it's a space western. You're right. I love that. This is Inara, I think. I like that nice little drawing, but who's this one? Garbett is the artist. I don't know who, but like that one a lot. You can see that there's just sort of some tell a story, some are pinups, like this one here. Nicely done. She's sort of one of the muscles of the group. Here's another one of the characters. She's hiding in the ceiling, I guess, getting ready to drop on us. And like since there's so many variants, some don't have logos. Some, but here's a couple of the characters: Jane and I forget her name. I haven't watched Firefly in a while or read anything about it. So
Zoe.
That's Wash's wife.
yeah, I can't. And here is just a nice little sort of cartoony Mal. That's his name, right?
Yes.
Fighting a robot in the West. And there's just so, there's just so many. I like it. I can't vouch for the comic itself, but there's so many covers. Are some virgin ratios? Yeah. Zoe, that's the wife. Wash and Zoe. There we go. They should make them logo even smaller, otherwise someone might read it. Yeah. It says, how is the reaction to the Vertigo return in 2026? Our reaction? I don't know. I was never a Vertigo fan. So my reaction is, though I am interested in the Jacob Phillips book.
I kind of used to pretend to myself that I was interested in Vertigo, but turns out, you don't really, since you don't need to pay attention to everything that Vertigo puts out, you just find something that you like.
Yeah. To me, Vertigo was always sort of mainstream indie comics, if you will, corporate indie comics. Not that makes them bad. That just, it wasn't in my interest. That
I remember
they managed to.
I remember enjoying reading them, but it also helped that I got them for free in our bundle.
So there's always some good ones.
Yeah, but they were good ones in the mix.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: they took advantage of the fact that they got Garth Ennis and Warren Ellis in their primes.
Yeah.
And they ended up discovering a few other guys, especially artists.
I wouldn't even say in their prime. I'd say in their youth. Because I think they're both still good writers and have done some prime stuff after Vertigo. But that was in their youthful, probably creative state, It was definitely good to get them.
Sure. Ennis did do a lot of stuff. It wasn't just Preacher. He had something called Pride and Joy, which was a crime comic. And every once in a while you'd go through the mini series and you didn't even know the writer and the artist, but the premise looked good and turns out the story was good.
It says, would this be Edge Vertigo or more PC Vertigo? Vertigo was never edgy. If you thought Vertigo was edgy, you were a mainstream comic reader. Which there's nothing wrong with, but I've never seen Vertigo as edgy in the least.
Yeah, it's when you want to get into metal music and you start listening to Limp Bizkit.
And I don't mean that as an insult to anybody who loved Vertigo and was a mainstream comic reader. It was edgy to them.
Sure, I mean, if you're only used to superheroes, pick up a Vertigo comic.
Yeah, I think Vertigo is the stepping stone into going that direction of finding more indies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what that was for.
Yeah, and going back to what I said, that you don't need to buy everything Vertigo. The point is that you learn to become a discerning reader. You follow what you like, and you decide who you like, and then the next time you buy, you know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know why this popped into my head, but Invincible is more edgy than any Vertigo book. Just because of the violence. And because Invincible's not that particularly edgy. But it's got graphic violence in it, which many would consider edgy.
Yes. Well, Kirkman got big when I won't say Vertigo was winding down, but Vertigo was too established to want to try new stuff. Also, Invincible was masquerading as a superhero comic, so Vertigo probably wouldn't have picked up his stuff like that. Battle Pope was weird. It was too weird for them.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, less censored. I'd say less censored than what? I mean, most Vertigo books could pass the comics code.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, some could, yeah.
I mean, they're less censored, I guess, than Superman. But as soon as you drop a penis in there, they might be really censored and cancel the whole line. So we don't know.
Mm.
Like Saga couldn't exist at Vertigo.
Maybe. I mean,
Too much nude, too much penis in Saga for it to exist at Vertigo. Early had nudity and swearing, but no
yeah,
penis.
and then they only had swearing.
They were not hanging dong.
That's how you know. That's how you know they're edgy. They say the word "fuck" a lot, especially if they're written by British guys.
A lot of indie comics these days will hang dong on you. Captain Finity says Black Kiss needs a little censorship, in my humble opinion. I say it doesn't.
Or you can pretend it's a French comic where they don't care about that.
So what are you working on tonight, Chris?
Holiday card.
All right.
Oh, nice.
Happy holidays. Is that your holiday card or someone paying you to do that?
It's a commission.
It's a commission. All right.
Cool.
Tit Goblin says, sorry, folks, there's just a little too much penis in this Captain Carrot book. That's it. I'll reread it in a French accent and reconsider it as mild, says Captain.
Also, you have to be smoking a cigarette, holding the cigarette like this.
Of course I am French. Why do you think I have this outrageous accent? Let me show you one of the good books I got this week. Where's a good one? Let's see.
No penis is inside.
The Power Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Issue number, what is this, 15? 14. Kieran Gillen, Casper Wingard. A lot of talking in this issue, but terrific. Good stuff. This is the one that's about all these Omega level superheroes. And the object is that they're super powered people. It's not even say heroes. But the object is they shouldn't fight with each other because if they do, millions of people would die. Their power level is measured in how many millions of people would die if they fought. And there was one particular guy, the lead character who was introduced in the first book, who was like this massive, powerful, he's got, I don't know, brain powers of something, telepathy. I don't know. He can read people's minds and do stuff. He can kill them too. But he's been the one. The story also takes place in 1999 for some reason. Why? And he's the one who's been keeping the peace since the 60s. He does all this to try to keep them not fighting. 3 issues ago, he was allegedly killed. Supposedly, but we found out he really wasn't. Last issue, he was actually killed by this one guy because it found out he had been, I think there was like 6 or 7 superpowered people in the world who were that level. He had been for the last 30 years taking away, if somebody was developing superpowers, he could take it away from them, alter their brain somehow. So he's been doing that. And he did that to, there was this one guy who killed him, the Heavy, who's another one of these big superpowered guys. So the Heavy was pissed off that he messed with his son, who turned out had superpowers and just came out as having superpowers. And the guy took him away. And so he threw him into space. It's more elaborate than that, but that's what happened. But Now we've got the law of unintended consequences happening, where now without him to keep, and he was doing things to keep the peace that they didn't know about, like neutering the other superheroes, and he was doing something. The one guy's girlfriend, I think it's also weird that you got your superpowered people, you got the reason Europe's not there is because somebody came from another dimension. So there's other dimensions, but we really don't see them. This is the one person who came from another dimension with superpower and eventually ended up destroying Europe in a big fight. It's just a big part of the Atlantic Ocean now. And then there's this one woman who's an angel, a literal angel. They don't know where from, but they know she's a literal angel. And she's got, of course, superpowers. But we find that, there's a literal hell, too, that involved in some past battle that we never got to see. But no one knows where God is. So that's another part of it. But we just found out that since that guy died, God is talking to the angel. He was talking to her the whole time, except that guy was blocking her mind from being able to pick up God's message. Because is it really God? We don't know. But it's given her crazy messages. So now law of unintended consequences, we might have a crazy destructive angel on hand. That's sort of the latest plus. So now, like I said, now we're getting into the unintended consequences of that guy dying. So it's a really interesting issue. Good stuff. And that's the indicia.
Jeez.
They put it all in all different languages. Just for the heck of it.
Okay.
So that was one of the good comics this week. Sacre bleu. This Baiser Noir book is so tame.
No. That response is so tame. You're supposed to say putain la merde, not sacre bleu.
Hey, he grew up on Marvel Comics, Frenchman.
Yeah. Yeah, where they replace the women with dolphins.
Oh, I think that was DC.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. In fact, the publishers from Lyon.
Okay.
Lyon. Have you read any good comic books lately, Chris? We haven't had an issue of Savage Dragon in a little while.
No.
I think Eric has been distracted with Marvel work.
Yeah, what's he been doing at Marvel? I hadn't even noticed.
He wrote a miniseries, Spider-Man Noir,
Okay.
and he's been doing some art for them here and there. Yeah, but
Sleepy hit the nail on the head. Betrag the Lieber taught us French. Yep. Batrac's Brigade.
Batroc doesn't even make any sense. Dr. Doom has the best name in the French comics. It's called Fatalis. Fatalis.
Vatalis? What does that mean?
From Fatal.
Ah.
Fatalis.
He's still a doctor.
Kid Goblin asks, Chris, if you had to eat a comic book, what issue would it be? Something small? He would not eat a giant-sized comic.
A mini comic.
Oh, he's got an answer. He's going to get a comic.
He's going to get the one he started eating.
his leftover from lunch comic?
Thank you so much.
I'm just waiting with bated breath here to see what he comes back with. He better not have had to go to the bathroom right then, because
he might have been. Didn't realize we asked the question.
That'll be a disappointment. I don't hear him.
Someone's talking somewhere. I hear back.
Hold
Just
on.
admire the old Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
He went out to talk to someone. He didn't go out to get the comic he was going to eat.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I missed everything you were saying.
They're taking back all the $50 super chats because of your stunt.
Is there a question?
Oh, you mean the question was, Chris, if you had to eat a comic book, what issue would it be? And
Oh.
just after that question was asked, you turned around and walked out the door. We were like, is he going to get the comic? Was he having it for lunch?
Yeah, I don't have a quick answer to that. I mean, I need a lot of
He'll
time
have
to think about
He'll
it.
have to think about it. He'll get
Yeah.
back to you. I learned most of my French from Pepe Le Pew, 1970s war movies. Are the inks poisonous? I don't think so, but I wouldn't swear to. I don't think you'd want to drink them.
Mm-hmm. Unless you grow accustomed to them. As an artist, when you can't afford food, you just drink the ink.
And another terrific comic this week was Good as Dead, the David and Maria Lapham joint, which this is issue 4, which has been good all along, but issue 4 was really hit the ground running. Here's his classic 8 panels a page storytelling style he does for his. There's some heads bashed in for you. And this is the classic story of a sheriff who's been poisoned, and he has till he dies to solve the crime. And there's lots of other crimes going on too. In this small town, I don't remember if it's in Canada or up near Canada, but this issue 4, really did it for me. Good stuff. Good stuff. TikTok. Maybe some tourists from Quebec province would make their way to the northern reaches of New York State.
They don't speak actual French in Quebec. They speak Québécois, which is a bit like if you go to Quebec to learn French, it's like going to Glasgow in Scotland to learn English.
I've heard French in New York City many a time, though, hanging out in Bryant Park, especially. That's a lot of French spoken in Bryant Park.
Tourists or what? Or the
Yeah.
people from
Yeah.
people who work at the UN?
Tourists. Bryant Park is a big tourist park. It's a small park, but it's big with the tourists because the New York Library is right there. There's refreshments. There's usually entertainment going on in the park. So when I'd go down there, and which I haven't done in a couple of years, used to do it a lot more before COVID. When I'd go down there in the summer on a Saturday and take street photos, I'd sit in the park too and hear lots of different languages spoken. On the library steps too, everyone's taking pictures. So you can hear lots of languages spoken there too.
Have you guys heard about Omni Press publishing Archie comic books?
Omni Press?
Yeah. So I'm sorry, Oni.
Oni Press.
Oni Press is going to be publishing Archie comic books.
So is Archie going away? Like their office in Westchester?
I am not too sure.
Or did they just license some of it?
I believe they licensed Oni to publish new Archie stories.
Okay. Classic Archie?
Well, I think so, because the artwork that they're using to advertise it is classic Stan Goldberg-ish looking art.
I wonder if Carl Boulders has anything to do with that.
There was a announcement yesterday at like 4:30.
Yeah.
And they're showing images, and all it really says is advertisement type stuff. That's like Oni Press to introduce captivating new line of Archie comics and graphic novels.
Okay.
launching fall of 2026. And so far is Archie #1, Sabrina the Teenage Witch #1, and then a book called Archie in Hell.
Archie in Hell. So I guess they're doing some
Yeah.
horror stuff.
Yep. And so far the images are kind of like just from the nose up of Archie.
Yeah.
And it has like in 2026, Archie's favorite teenager, America's favorite teenager is living the dream. And then he has an image and a thought bubble that says "Who me?"
Mm-hmm.
And the cover image has Oni's logo and Archie Comics logo. But Archie himself is a more updated but that clean style.
Right.
Not exactly Stan Goldberg, but close enough that you look at it and think, "Oh, that's Archie."
Right.
You can easily look at Archie that way.
Hero
So
Angel asks, so no more Archie horror line? We don't know.
we
They
don't
might
know.
just
The
be, it
fact that
sounds to
they
me
have,
like if there's only 3 books, they might be licensing those 3 books.
yeah,
And you
very,
might still get the Archie horror line from Archie.
I think so because
But
the
Archie's been publishing, they're still publishing the digests and the other book. They're still publishing facsimiles. They've been
right. So I'm
Yeah.
guessing regular Archie titles are doing the classic stuff reprints, and they're letting Oni do something more with them.
Yeah.
Especially since one title is Archie, one title is Sabrina, and then the other title is Archie in Hell. So it seems like that's going to be the horror book.
Oh, Patrick Holworth illustrations. Jump on that. Okay. That's the Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees guy. That's interesting. And he also went, here's the question. Did Penthouse Comic Mag stop? I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
The website is still Tyler Crook art too. That's cool. He's the one who just did Escape from Alcatraz, right? I really liked his stuff. But as far as I know, there have been no Penthouse comics in 2025. There were supposed to be. You can still go to Penthouse Comics website and they'll tell you they're there, but they never printed them, as far as I know.
The format's not really appropriate for the times. Serializing a foreign comic in a monthly installments, and then you charge what? How much was the magazine? $12?
Somewhere around 8 or 10. Once again, I've always said, if I'm your target audience, you're probably in trouble. Because my tastes are not mainstream. But as far as I know, unless they got new plans for 2026, nothing came out in 2025. Because they were supposed to relaunch they were going to number them by new number 1 every year. So 2024 had 1 through 6, and 2025 was supposed to have 1 through 6. But nope. I looked, and you can't get them anywhere. So I'm supposing that they don't actually exist. They were never printed. Lots of if you look them up online, you'll find them solicited, but not available. So I don't think they ever printed them. Speaking of me being the only one to buy it in the store, my Space Scouts #2, which has got a wraparound cover. And on the front cover are all the characters who are making it through the battle. And on the back cover are all the characters dying.
Oh, wow.
So they're all getting blasted on the back cover.
That's grim.
Some terrific art inside. Matt Kint is doing the writing. And David Rubin is doing the artwork. And the back are also, official handbook stuff.
Nice.
There is some nice artwork. And I haven't learned his name yet. He's a new YouTuber. who gets a lot of indie stuff. But he was telling me the couple of other things that Kint and Rubin have done that I hadn't heard of. So I'm gonna have to look those up now.
Well, do you guys know a YouTuber called Hercules Petix?
I don't think so.
Oh, he mostly does historical reviews, but he does a lot of really indie underground stuff.
Okay, to check that out.
And actually, and I was reminded of him because one of his latest videos was one of the Archie superhero digest specials from the late 70s. Yeah, some very early Tom DeFalco stories in there. Because they were gonna bring back the horror line, and then they didn't.
62 Lefty says Penthouse Comics 6 total. Yeah, those are all 2024. My comic shop has them all with different covers. That's all 2024 stuff. There's supposed to be 6 more in 2025. Didn't happen. But this is the one that's a story where every so often they recruit people from all over the. I never know if it's a galaxy, solar system, what the time space continuum is, and there's a whole bunch of different planets. And they recruit people to be in the Space Scouts. It's a reality TV show, blah, 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 blah. And if you make it to the Space Scouts, your planet gets like $1 billion worth of credit to help problem. You're doing good for your planet as well as yourself. And 100 people try out, only one makes it. And so we were following one character. I think it's this woman in front there in the black and white outfit with the blue cape. She was the one we were following from her planet. She's got some sort of light powers. But they were good. Like I said, it was a television show they were going through. And she figured out in this issue that the show was kind of fixed. She wasn't supposed to win. So she kicked the winning ball over to the guy who was supposed to win. She's like, what's really going on here? And then it turns out all the people who didn't win, they sent to this planet where 50 of them got killed and 7 of them didn't. They're like, oh, you're the real Space Scouts. We send you into danger. So all the other Space Scouts are just for show. They're a TV show. The real Space Scouts are the ones who make it through and then make it through this really dangerous planet that kills all of them. And now I guess they're going to more dangerous stuff. So I think it's only 4 or 5 issues. I forget what, but I'm really, really well enjoyed this one too. Another good comic to enjoy this one. Tyler Cook art. Only 3 came out? Or was that a Penthouse? I didn't see any come out this year, too. Diamond Going Under must have killed it. I couldn't find any of Penthouses from this year at all. I saw 2 or 3 were solicited, but they were available nowhere. They might be in Diamond's warehouse for all I know.
You think that Penthouse should try to have a backup plan in case they have problems with the distributor because they're Penthouse?
They just licensed the name, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Since they're Chapter 7, yeah.
Yeah, the judge was very much in favor of allowing the purchaser to keep all the unsold comics and not pay the publishers.
Ain't that nice?
Oh yeah. My thing was that the thing that I heard about that wanting to charge the publisher for having the items in their own warehouses.
That was a warehouse fee for holding them.
Yeah. And it's like, or you should have ordered them back from us, when you had the chance. We didn't know, or they didn't know it was going to go under.
Mm-hmm. Well.
Yep.
Want to see a mainstream comic I didn't like so much this week?
Sure.
Our friend Bunch gave this to me. It's Superman, The Last Days of Lex Luthor. It's Brian Hitch artwork, Mark Waid writing in this, graphic novel format. I guess Bunch liked it so much that he went and got the hardcover collection when it came out. And he said, "You want my individual issues?" I said, "Sure, I'll give it a read," because he's like, "You got to read this." And I liked the third issue best. It was most like a normal Superman book. But issue 1, I'm not sure what Mark Waid was trying to do. Oh, and it's Brian Hitch with Kevin Nolan inking. Let me show you a little of that. So it's really nice. There's the giant crab robot that's wreaking havoc. Coincidentally, in Lex Luthor colors, because I don't think he repainted it. So really nice artwork. Do you guys remember that Superman Treasury edition that came out right before the movie? Was that this year? Did the movie come out this year, Superman?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Right before that, there was, I think it's a Superman Treasury edition that I got, which was really pretty well done. It was like, I think the whole point of it was to show like moviegoers, show people how important Superman was to, the DC universe. And I forget who did it, but they did a nice job. This one is about the last days of Lex Luthor, of course. It starts out with that giant crab machine attacking a city somewhere in the South Pacific. Did it tell us? Off the coastal islands of Bangladesh. The tiny coastal island of Megwip. I have no idea if it's a real island or not. It's the DC universe. But that giant crab machine comes to the island and starts making earthquakes. You lost me at Mark Waid. I think Mark Waid's a solid writer. I got no problems with Mark Waid. And I'm not sure what Mark Waid was trying to do. I think he was trying to show us that how good Superman was, that he was like, because they always try to do that. Like when they try to establish Superman's character, they write like that Treasury edition. They want to show us that Superman is a good guy. That's his basic character. He's, a good guy. But in this one, Lex Luthor shows up, makes earthquakes. Superman gets there in time, manages to save every single person in this city. No deaths. Then he goes into the giant robot and finds out Lex Luthor is the one behind it. And Lex Luthor's like, "I knew you'd be able to save everyone. I knew they weren't in danger." But then Superman's like, "Well, who made this giant robot? It wasn't you. Where's the original crew?" And Lex is like, He found out Lex Luthor, killed a couple dozen guys in order to get this robot. And Lex is like, make an omelet, got to break a few eggs. So I killed some guys. Big deal. Then we find out that Lex Luthor has got a terminal illness. He was messing around with kryptonite. And now he's got a terminal illness. And he wants Superman to save him. And Superman's like, "No, I'm not. What do you mean save you?" And Lex is like, "You're such a good guy. You're gonna save me. I know it. You're gonna have to try." And once again, I think this was to show how Superman was a good guy. And Lex Luthor also broadcast this to the whole world, so that to pressure Superman into trying saving him, even though They're running polls, and the whole world wants Lex Luthor not to be saved because he's a mass murderer. People are like, no, don't save Lex Luthor. But Superman, like I said, I think they were trying to show us that he was trying to show us that Superman was a good guy, but I'm not really sure because all it really showed us was proximity to power is what matters. Because how many sick and dying people are there around the world that Superman isn't bothering to help? But he's helping Lex Luthor because he's right next to him. And it reminded me of, do you remember the first couple issues of Astro City? Have you read those?
Yeah.
I've read some of them, but I don't recall.
The first issue or two of Astro City was a Superman story.
Right.
And he was busy all day long from morning to night. He wasn't even fighting supervillains. He was busy all day long going all around the world saving people. He didn't have a minute to spare. Now that's kind of the Superman who was only going to save you because you got his attention by almost killing thousands of people and indeed killing a couple dozen is so then the rest of it was him trying to save Luthor. And it also became about his friendship with Luthor. And it was like, what? His friendship? Because, they knew each other when they were kids. And Clark Kent always tried to be friends, but Luthor didn't care.
Mark Waid reintroduced the concept of Lex Luthor was in Smallville back into the continuity before Flashpoint.
It's definitely in this continuity because they flash back to Superman in Smallville. Yeah, Sleepy said there was a huge flaw. That was the huge flaw of that comic. They badly wanted to create a moral dilemma for Superman, ignoring how he just doesn't save every sick person. Yeah, I think that said it a lot more concisely than I was rambling on about. Because the rest of the plot, the rest of the book was fun. He went to the bottled city of Kandor to try and save him. He went to, the future, to the Legion of Superheroes to try and save. He went everywhere to try and save him, and he couldn't be saved. And then in the third issue, we found out the real villain was Brainiac from out in space, and it was all a plot to kill. And then Luthor kind of becomes a hero. It was just such a weird thing. I mean, it was well done. Nothing wrong with the actual craft of the comic, but as Sleepy pointed out, that was the huge flaw of that comic. Them trying to create a moral dilemma that just didn't make any sense. And there's where is it? The whole world, after he broadcast it, the whole world was 90-something%. Don't save Luthor. Where's that? See if I can find that one panel. But they really wanted to highlight the friendship between Superman and a mass murderer. I don't know why. I don't know why you do that. I may be the greatest hero in the world, but I'm still buddies with Jeffrey Dahmer. What? What?
How you doing, Chris?
The issue where the Superman analog in Astro City goes to visit his greatest enemy, because he has his greatest enemy trapped in a transdimensional prison, and they get and Samaritan goes and check on him. And they're friendly when they're talking, but at the end, it's like in the end, I'm going to kill you one day, Samaritan. No, you're not. They spend the entire issue pretending that they're friendly, and in the end, they know that the circumstances haven't changed. The thing is, the guy's getting productive. He's even helping Samaritan solve some problems. And the Samaritan brings him wine for when they have dinner. But when they're done, I'm getting out and killing when I have the chance.
Not gonna happen.
So I suppose that just because they've known each other for years and they're used to fighting each other, they're not really friends.
No. But I think that was part of Superman being a good guy. He'd be friends with the mass murderer. Why not?
Superman loves everyone. People take the Jesus analog too far.
Yeah, that I was like, I couldn't get past that huge flaw. Though I said the rest, issue 3 was especially good because that was like fight scenes to resolve everything. He even brought him to he brought Luthor to the Phantom Zone to try and buy him some time, but they kicked him out of the Phantom Zone. Apparently, you can turn solid in the Phantom Zone and try and kill people. Or kick them out. Because, of course, General Zod was not having Lex Luthor hanging around.
Now that's entertainment. Have you seen that comic book artist letterer Todd Klein has been posting up logos
Oh yeah,
of
there's a lot
other
of them.
artists and talking about just about the logo itself? Fascinating to read over.
He's been posting all the logos he's done in his career.
Oh, not only his own.
Oh, I
He's
didn't even
posting
notice he had other
He's
people in
he's
there.
starting to post other people's logo and just talking about the logo, and there are a few of them where he doesn't know who did them,
Right.
but he's still posting them and talking about them, and just interesting in itself because it's just nice to see all the logos. But
Yeah.
he's also talking about other people's logos. He did one that had. He's also doing some of them in black and white, which is pretty
Yeah.
cool too, just to see them that way.
Yeah, because I think he's done like 3 blog posts with tons of logos in them. He had to go get a comic to eat.
I guess so.
Like 3 blog pages and he's only on like C. He's got so many logos he's done in his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of amazing. I was like, whoa. Amazing. Let's see, what's another good comic I got this week? Every mainstream comic book fan's favorite indie comic at the moment is Exquisite Corpses. We got issue 8. There's some goriness in this one. I don't know why that eyeball is so big in that guy's hand.
Yeah, that would not have been approved at Vertigo.
No, definitely not. This is especially gory. This is the one who's doing this. Pornsack, Pinschnott with James Tinian, art by Adam Gorham with Michael Walsh. I have no idea how to pronounce that first name there.
Yeah, me neither. That's Ty.
That's Ty? Okay.
Yeah.
Colors by Jordi Belair, letters by Becca Carey. And this is the one that's pretty simple concept. 12 families really all the power have been the power behind the United States since its founding. These 12 families. And every 4 years, they all hire an assassin, cut off some small town, and all 12 assassins battle each other. And the last assassin alive, that family gets to run the place for the next 4 years. Their own twisted form of elections. So there's all these crazy assassins. Here's the scorecard. Let's see. The Lone Gunman, Lady Carolina, Layla Blaze, Pretty Boy, Rascal Randy, Gamer Kid and Calvin, Fox Mask Killer, Recluse. So this is kind of just like a giant bloody superhero battle. I find it funny, like especially on TikTok. This comic, this is the one indie comic I see in so many Marvel and DC halls. I'm like, what? I can understand why. It's like an action movie. But still, I find it funny when any indie comic gets traction with Marvel and DC fans. The Purge, but that's where everyone gets violent, right? Isn't The Purge that movie where one day a year murder is legal?
Yeah, that's based on a novel, isn't it?
I think it is. We should do a Reed, Rip, and Slab.
Ooh, cool.
Let's see. Let me find one. Whoop, come back here. Where are you, Reed, Rip, and Slabs? Where'd you go? I have so many windows open. There we go. Let's see. We are going to go to April 1967. Come on, open up. Where are you? There we go. Let's share this one. Share screen. All right, we've got Flash 171, Batman 192, and Green Lantern 53, all by Infantino and Murphy Anderson.
Ooh.
So we got a theme going in this one. The Go-Go Checks era.
Yeah. I don't think I've read any of these stories.
Neither have I. I have not ever read these or seen these.
I hate this era.
Batman's head in a crystal ball, Green Lantern's whole body in an eye.
I really hate most of Silver Age DC. I can't read this stuff.
And what did that little kid do to the Flash?
And who is he? Why isn't anybody paying attention? Why does the kid have a T?
Midday, a busy corner in Central City. The Flash lies dead, unburied, unmourned. Why? The other one says, just as I suspected, my crystal ball reveals one of my fearsome foursome gang in a Batman in disguise. Now that I've exposed Batman, I'll kill him. The crystal ball that betrayed Batman. Get an eye full of this, Green Lantern, helplessly trapped inside the eye of an alien giant. So that's literal. Captive of the evil eye.
And the eye is yellow, which is why he can't leave. Well, destroy the nose from the inside.
It's an eye. You might be able to punch it.
Okay, I'm going to read Green Lantern.
Trapped inside the eye of a giant. That is just weird.
Yeah, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read Green Lantern, and I'm going to slab the Flash.
You don't want to know why the Flash is lying dead at midday in the middle of
I want to preserve that moment in amber.
Ah.
And I'm going
Much-
to rip the Batman. I'm
Much
going to do like
Green Lantern is preserved in amber.
yeah. I'm gonna rip Batman. I'm gonna do it like Wilson, right down the middle.
Funny enough, I'm going to slab Batman because I think that's a good cover, but I don't think I would be interested in the story. I want to read The Flash because no matter what happened there, it's going to be entertaining. Unfortunately, that means I'm going to rip Green Lantern, but I could rip him down the center, and Green Lantern at least will be on his own cover by himself, kind of a thing, and you just don't see all the eye.
Let's see.
And for uniqueness, I'm going to put the dolphin in the other eye. So I'm not replacing anybody, but I'm going to trap the dolphin.
You have to
No.
replace somebody. You can replace the eye with the dolphin.
I guess I could replace the eye with, although
The dolphin always
replacing-
replaces.
true, very true.
The
Then I'm gonna-
flamingos can hang out in the eye.
So I'm going to change it. Yes, that's actually a good idea. I'll put the flamingos in the other eye, and I'm going to replace the Flash with the dolphin because no way our superhero should be laying on the floor like that. That's too suggestive. So
Yeah.
we're going to replace it with the dolphin, and makes the cover even more striking because why is that kid stepping over a dolphin?
See,
I'm
Chit
going to
Goblin
dolphin
can
the kid,
read.
Ooh, okay.
so that the dolphin is stepping over the Flash, which is going to be funnier because the dolphin has no legs.
Then I'm going to have
And-
to dolphin Batman's head, no doubt.
I'm going to put the flamingos in the Batman cover. They're going to be on the table like the other mobsters, looking at the crystal ball.
Let's see. Tit Goblin is going to read Batman, rip Flash, and slab the Lantern. And Hero Angel is going to rip the Flash, read Batman, and slab Green Lantern.
Well,
I think I'm doing the same thing.
That's
I think
Quinn. You know they replaced the names with the YouTube channel handles, and now we can't recognize people. But that's Undead
who is
Quinn.
that?
Undead Quinn.
Undead Quinn. Okay.
Yeah.
They tricked us. I think I'm doing the same thing as Undead Quinn. I'm going to rip the Flash. No. I'm going to read Flash, slab Green Lantern, and rip Batman. Then let's see. I think when I dolphin Batman's head in the crystal ball, I'm going to leave his mask on.
So you're replacing Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, there you go. I'm replacing Bruce Wayne, not Batman. And I'm going to have the flamingos blend in with the crowd on the Flash cover. By the way, have you ever heard the explanation that people have given for that go-go checks?
No, I was
era?
just about to ask you, why was the go-go checks up there?
I think somebody said they started the go-go checks thing because they wanted people to be able to pick out DC Comics at a glance on the stands. The reason they stopped it is because people could pick out DC Comics at a glance on the stands. So it made them easy to find and also easy to avoid.
Amazing.
I think those are three pretty good covers right there from Infantino and Anderson.
Yeah. They're all interesting. Whether or
Yeah.
not they're good stories, who knows?
Yeah,
But
who
at
knows
least-
if the
Yeah, that's why I picked the Flash, because they were always crazier stories. You know, Batman, it just seems like it's not going to be as good as the cover for some reason. That's my gut feeling. And Green Lantern, they after a while they seem kind of the same.
Yeah.
You know, a great ugly creature that's going to cause trouble, and they always happen to have something yellow.
Yeah. Good description. The design of those covers is really nice too. The
Yes.
logos and the go-go checks and the DC bullet.
A bit much with the text on there, but
But
again,
not too
they're-
bad, really.
They're not too bad. And I
I've
like
seen
that
it
big
work.
Y on the
Yeah.
cover. Big white Y. That looks pretty cool.
Could have been a little smaller, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Like, there's no need for the story title on that Green Lantern cover that's on his cheek.
Yeah.
The one blurb up top, I think, would be good enough.
I don't even need the blurb. But then again, this is a DC comic, so.
Yeah. The blurb at least explains the story a little bit.
Mhm.
Because you're going to look at that comic and look at that cover and have no idea what's going on.
Who wrote the cover text? Is that the writer or the art director of the book?
Probably the editor.
The editor was in charge of it. Like at Marvel in the 90s, it was the editor who had the final say. But anybody could give him suggestions.
Right.
And
Right, but
sometimes
these
it would
are
be-
either Mort Weisinger or Julius Schwartz.
sometimes it was the assistant editor's job to write the cover text, but it was always approved by the editor or rejected.
Right, but
Like-
if it's Mort Weisinger or Julius Schwartz, then nobody's giving them any suggestions.
Yeah, those 60s DC editors were known to be control freaks. So
Actually, let me check the editors. So Flash 171, that's
Chris Geruso is back. We're doing a Reed Rip and Slab.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
so Flash is Julius Schwartz. Batman, I think Batman's Julius Schwartz as well.
But this is probably peak Carmen Infantino.
Mhm. Batman is Schwartz as well, and Green Lantern.
I mean, I grew up with late 70s Marvel Carmen Infantino, and I was not a fan. I didn't even know this 60s Carmen Infantino existed.
Yeah, it's all Julius Schwartz.
He was the editor on all of them?
Mhm.
That makes sense because Infantino and Anderson are doing all of them.
Yeah.
So they were his guys.
Right, Mort Weisinger would have used Kurt Swan
Yeah.
because he had absolutely no originality.
I got to see these, I can see these covers like hanging up on a wall somewhere and looking at them going, those are some nice covers.
Yeah.
They-
I definitely they're nice enough that you could see pulling them off the shelf and
Yeah.
thumbing through them.
I could see why people want them in their collection today, even.
Yeah.
Even if you're not going to read the stories. They're nice covers to have. Much like these Firefly covers I got. Let's take this out. Oh, hold on. Whoops, wrong way. It's over here I want to go. To stop screen. Something's going on with my computer tonight. It's jumpy. It is not smart. I probably should restart it. I don't know the last time I restarted it.
If you don't know, then yeah, it is time to restart it.
Yep. Like my desktop gets restarted, it's shut down every night, but my laptop just gets closed over. Not quite. Let's show you another comic. What did we get? Another good one. World Tree.
Mm-hmm.
Another James Tinian written book with Fernando Blanco on the art. Who else do we have? Colors by Jordi Belair and letters by Aditya Bidikar. And this one, I think we're back to, because this one took place and then took place in the present day. Then we flashed back to 1999 for a page. And then it went to the future. And now I think it's back in the present day. This is the one where there's in 1999, when they were, 20 years old, all these student sort of computer guys discovered something called the Undernet, which was something that lived underneath the internet. They don't even know what it was. They're like, well, how do you describe the internet? What is it? We have a hard time describing that. So of course we have a hard time describing what's under it. And it tried to take over stuff, and they stopped it. 20 years passed till today, and it was coming back, and they were trying to stop it again. And that was what issue is this? 17. That was like the first 10 or 12 issues. Then it flashed forward into the future where they didn't stop it. And the world is sort of this, dystopia.
We can't describe the internet, and we can't describe the Undernet. That's a very boomer take.
I would read it to you word for word. It probably makes more sense. My word is not describe. I didn't really care about that part, but yeah, I know what you mean. But let's see if they'd be millennials, because
they are millennials, but not understanding how the internet works is boomer take.
Well, it wasn't not understanding how the internet works. It's now I got to give you the exact words and not my words, so you can make fun of them if you want, rather than my bad interpretation. What does he say? He's asking the smart guy, but what do you think it is? The Undernet? Yeah. Well, what do you think the internet is? I don't want to do like the fucking introduction to computers, Gabe. This is important. Well, I guess on one hand, it's just like a method by which a bunch of computers all over the world are connected. But it's also what's being shared between all of those computers. It's the stuff that lives in the middle of all those computers that the computers access. It's a place you go. It's a place to put things on websites and shit. See, you're plenty smart. Ha ha. I think it's helpful to think of the binary. On one hand, it's the same. It's the connective tissue through which, though what it connects is open to interpretation. What the Undernet is what's not shared. It's the place you don't go. It's the place you don't put things. It's the opposite reflection of the internet, and it's getting stronger as the internet gets stronger, and it's hungry. Yeah, that made no sense to me, but I'm okay with it.
Behold, the Undernet.
Yeah. So whatever it is, like I said, but it won. And it just is. I can't describe what it is. He just described it right there, and I still don't know what it is. Yeah, and that's what the Undernet causes: insanity and murderous intent. That's what it does sometimes too. That's how it started. If you clicked on a video, the Undernet, you'd go out and murder people because you watched this video. It really hasn't done that since the very beginning, because it took over the world. It doesn't have to. But now we're flashing back to, but it's just so well done. It's just such an interesting, even if I have no clue what the Undernet is, it's just the villain of the piece. It's good stuff. And this one was about the past and the present and the future. So it was a nice piece. Yeah, I think this was all back. This is in current day, before the Undernet took over. So good. Another, like I said, another A. This was an A+ issue to me. It's been some A- lately, so I was so glad to have an A+. 62 says, just smoke a bowl and it'll all make sense, or not. the scary dark web. No, this isn't the dark web. The dark web is still the internet.
Yeah, this is a thumb drive, apparently.
Or the part of your hard drive that you don't use. Silk
Remember
Road
when
influence. I see. There's
remember
still
when you could
people behind there.
remember when you could hack a computer with a floppy drive?
Though I did just hear, if you want to talk about AI and hacking things, I did just see an interesting video about AI and how I think the article comes from the Financial Times or that Wall Street paper. I can't even remember which one. But an AI guy decided to see if he could put AI in charge of a vending machine,
Mhm.
ordering stuff, doing this or that. And it lost money. It didn't do a good job. So then they created an AI supervisor to be the boss of the AI, which did better. Then they put it into the Wall Street Journal. That's it. The Wall Street Journal offices to see what they could do with it too. And to keep in mind, this is all done by speaking to it. And the reporters at the Wall Street Journal learned how to hack the vending machine just by talking to it, by convincing it of things.
Mhm.
It bought them a PlayStation. It bought them other crazy things because and they were like, we might now be entering an age where, because it used to be, like you said, if you had to be a programmer to hack stuff. We might, with the AI age, you might be able to hack something by talking to it. I thought that was an interesting little piece. They talked to it and convinced because you can convince. I saw another article on how to convince the AI to do things it's programmed not to. And he was showing you how to just get it to make because the AI is not allowed to make a picture of a person dead. A corpse.
Yeah.
But he figured out how to convince it to. Did I miss the Gareth Shameless claiming he created Comic-Con discussion? No, but Roy Thomas co-created Comic-Con.
Yes.
I still have to go up to that. I haven't been to that Wizard comic shop in 20 years.
Is it still there?
It's still there. It's still, they do a lot. Well, it's Toy Wiz runs out of it. Of course he did. Toy Wiz runs out of that comic shop.
Does the family still own the shop?
Yeah, I think so.
That's actually cute.
Yeah. And it's actually, I think it's like within, I just happened to be looking for comic shops online today. My comic shop isn't there, but Toy Wiz was, and it's about 10 miles away. So it's close, but I just never go there. I'm never in that part of the county. And I get all my comics from my LCS. So.
Oh, isn't Funko Pop going out of business or something?
I don't think they're going out of business. I think they're having financial troubles.
Because if they went out of business, what would happen to the comic shops?
Exactly. They've flooded the market with Funko Pops to such an extent that no one's buying them.
Yeah.
But they said, where's mine here? Their Bitty Pops are doing well.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this will get them some more money.
Yeah, those are more portable,
Yeah.
The Funko Pops take up a lot of space.
So I find these fun.
Unless you're planning on having a wall of Funko Pops in your garage, Nobody should have. If you have a dozen, you start thinking, where am I going to put this?
You know what it is? I think people 10 years ago, when was the first Funko Pop, do you think?
Oh man, I don't know.
10, 15 years ago? I don't even know. It's been a while. I think that's at first what people did was because I've seen people with their displays of Funko Pops online, and they have like a nice little wall of Funko Pops. But I think at some point you can't keep up. And I think that happens to a lot of collectors of things. Is that at some point you can't keep up, so you just give it up. Hero Angel. My first pop was 2010. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been at least. So I think that's what I think that's why Funko Pops aren't selling. Everybody had their fill.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think it was something that people bought because it was going to go up in value.
In some cases, yes. The thing is,
in some cases it did, but
here's the thing. They make so many pops that you can't keep up with which pops are valuable or not.
No.
And you can't say that they're which ones are rare or not, because they can't have that much of a production run for each.
I wonder what the production run is at its peak on a Funko Pop. What would you guess? 50,000?
Maybe those are sold all over the world. So,
yeah, would that be a low number or a high number? Do you think?
I'd say low number. I mean, but then again, that depends on many individual pops came out every month.
Yeah, I don't know. I have zero idea what their production one would be.
Because every store wants to clear out the previous month of pops, so they have them for 6 months to a year at least before they have to get rid of them. But they will have to make room for new ones all the time.
Hero Angels has 60 to 70 now. Wow.
Jesus.
I get few 5 to. Yeah, you know what? All it takes is getting 5 a year, and then all of a sudden you find 5 years passes by and you got 25 of them. You're like, how did that happen?
Okay, so I'm looking at the history of Funko, and I can tell why they're in financial trouble. So this is a story that will be familiar to you. Okay, in 2017, Funko acquired British toy maker Underground Toys and also its European distributor. Then they opened a new headquarters in 17,000 square foot flagship store in downtown Everett. Then they became listed in the NASDAQ Stock Exchange. Then they acquired the fashion accessories line Loungefly. Then they opened their second storefront in Hollywood, 40,000 square feet.
Wow.
2022, Funko acquired Mondo, a high-end pop culture company. 2022, Funko expanded its global presence by opening its first franchise store outside of the United States in Dubai. This store was followed by 2 additional stores, one in Dubai and in Abu Dhabi.
Wow.
2023 opened a store in partnership with Snoop Dogg. And then in March 2023, Funko announced that an excessive old inventory would be disposed of due to limited warehouse capacity. So yeah, they've been on a buying spree, just like Marvel in 1992.
Yeah,
definitely. And now they're in financial trouble.
Not paying attention to their core business.
Oh, the thing is, they found out they had an excessive old inventory that they had to clear out.
Yeah,
they put out too many pops. Okay, in September 20.
I don't think that the Beanie Babies of this generation only because people really did expect Beanie Babies to be valuable. I don't think that many people expected Funko Pops to be valuable. That's what I think is different. People were buying tons of Funko Pops because they thought they were fun. That I think is otherwise it's similar. I mean, lots of people were buying them, they're toys, but people actually thought that Beanie Babies were going to put their kids through college. That was genuine. My comic shop was dealing in Beanie Babies at the time. What do you think the pop has been in production the longest? Superman, Batman? Is that who they started with?
I don't know.
I don't even
No.
know.
No,
I
they
think
started with
Batman
Austin.
may
Yeah,
have been
venture
the-
capital.
Yeah, they got bought out by one venture capital. So the original owners sold out in where was it? In 2005. Then that guy sold it to venture capital company in 2013. That venture capital company sold it to another one in 2015. Then I think there was so it's been in the hands of two different, the founder, an investor, and two venture capital companies.
Huh. And the second one is the one that's doing all the buying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funko was
the-
bobbleheads for 20 years before. Yeah.
Because the first venture capitalist bought it so that they could sell it. Took a year.
A guy at the comic shop suggested wholesaling pops to gun ranges to use as targets.
Ooh, yes.
Huh.
But you'd run out of pops in 2 days. On the
I
other
wonder
hand, that might be the solution to save Funko.
Huh.
Sell Funko Pops to gun ranges.
Huh. I wonder how comic shops are doing with Funko Pops these days. My shop has never had any. Wonder if
Yeah,
they're selling comic shops at all.
My shop is 1/3 Funko Pops.
But are they selling them?
I don't know. The wall has been the same size since they moved to that location. So I think Mario is smart enough to know how many he can sell per month.
I don't recall seeing a Funko Pop in Midtown Comics, or at least the
Yeah.
one I go to.
What's more money, the Funko Pops or the bullets?
Oh, doesn't matter. You rent the gun range for time, right? Or for shots.
You could have a Funko Pop party at the gun range where people pay an admission
Oh yeah.
to shoot up some Funko Pops.
Mhm.
And Drew Funko Pop's own site, you could what they call pop yourself, so you can make
Oh, yeah.
yourself into a Funko. That doesn't mean you can't make anyone else and then make an effigy and then go to the gun range.
Huh.
It's just money sitting there.
I ran zero. My LCS has some, but I noted this week that they redid the lower level with back issues and board games, RPGs. They consolidated the back issues and have more shelf space for games. Oh, okay. Yeah, my comic shop really only sells comics. They got some toys and they've got some toys in there too, but they're all like everybody's toys who are who work there who are just selling them like if they can sell them kind of thing on commission or whatever. Let's see, what other good comic did I get this week? My LCS has unsold for $5. They want them gone. Yeah. Gone. This is another one of these AWA books, Artists, Writers, and Artisans, which I think his name just flew out of my head. former Marvel editor.
Martz?
What was that?
Mike Martz?
No,
No, Marx
he
is at Mad
Mad
Cave.
Axel Alonso. There we go. He's the chief creative officer. And this is
that the Bill
AWA has
Gates
been doing a series of one-shots. This one's Aggie. They call protopias, which are not utopias, not dystopias, but they're future stories where the world's not perfect, but it's good. It's still good. Because they don't want to write that. And this is the third one. First one I thought was pretty good. The second one wasn't. And this one I think is the best of the three so far. These are like 48-page square-bound ones. Who's doing it? Mark Russell is the writer. He's a good writer. I read that. Speaking of From Mad Cave, speaking of Mike Martz, that mini series that he had a different artist on every issue. And aggregated human experience. And the art is nice. This woman really looks like a Nagel woman. ACO is ACO. I don't know how you say his name. It's only 3 letters and he's got no first name. So I don't know how you're supposed to say ACO. $20.99. And this is the story of an artificial intelligence that's helping to run the world. And as Mark Russell said in the back, he was like, it was really a challenge to write an AI story that's positive. Saying something like, it says that. Oh, no, that's the afterword. That's not. But I'll show you the most annoying thing about it. It's got some behind the scenes stuff. There's more, it's got sketches and things. Here it is. When I set out to write Aggie, I gave myself what I thought was the hardest writing assignment possible, to imagine artificial intelligence having a positive impact on the human race. But here's what not to do when you're making the comic. Make the splash page a page of text.
Yep.
I mean, they've been doing that. I guess it's some famous writer, Reid Hoffman, or some famous futurist. But come on, put it on the inside front cover. Put it on the back. I didn't read it. Maybe I'll read it later, just because it annoyed me so much. I don't want my splash page to be a text page, even if it does have this handsome man on it. I'm like, come on! Don't you know how to make a comic book? It just annoyed me to no end. Especially like this is one that I was the only one in the store who ordered, and you can see why. If you don't know that's not the way to make a comic book, I don't know what you're doing. No regular person is going to open up that first page of text and go, "Ooh, this one's interesting." But it was interesting. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Just flip by that, glue those first 2 pages together so you don't have to see it. Sometimes just the way they put the comic book together annoys me. Do you have any pet peeves of a physical comic book, Wilson?
Not that I can think of. There are times where, things will jump out at you, especially as a letterer. You see something, it's like,
yeah.
why did they do that? Kind of a thing. Or, as a colorist, sometimes you go, why was that a choice? Type of thing.
Right.
Those are the things that I spot quickly. Or, as you know, a production mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Type of thing. Those are the things that will pop out first because we look at those all the time in general. So they just pop out the first thing you see. But other than that, there's nothing. I guess maybe when they do like an all color cover, like all black, so you know it's going to. If you make it home with it, maybe it'll stay nice and solid. But once you start reading it, and the other pet peeve is not letting the comic book dry in between the time of printing and and getting to the shops, because I've had plenty of times where I'll be holding a comic book, and by the time I get ready to pay for it, you flip it over, you realize most of it came out on your fingers.
I think Marvel would use ink that came off on your hands for quite a while. I'd always hear people complain about that. So I don't think that
Yes.
had to do with drying time. I think that
Yeah,
had to
so
do with
I
bad
don't
ink.
know what it was, but it would always be at the shop, and you would look at it, it's like, do I put it back on the rack and not tell anybody anything, or it's like, or do I buy it because I messed up holding it?
That's
You
why
know?
you never buy the first comic book on the shelf. You always reach behind. Everybody reaches behind and gets one
Yes.
that nobody's touched.
Yes.
And here we go. Thing not to do, red text on black background. Oh, yeah. Unreadable text cover. I hate that with was it Arkham Asylum? The first printing had red text on black and had some unreadable balloons. I think it was.
Maybe I don't recall which one it is, but yeah. And again, I chalked that up also as part of production. That why pick either this size of font, or again the wrong color on top of another color that you can't even read it.
Speaking of I don't even know what. Not even this issue of Rogue Sun, which first of all has the worst covers. Rogue Sun covers are always impossible to figure out what's going on. Here, I'll even make it bigger for you. I mean, like, what is that? There's two characters down there. I think that's like a fire character.
Yeah, a Galactus type. He's holding it in his hand.
Is he actually holding it in his hands, or is that?
I think those are fingers.
Those look like fingers, but is he holding them or metaphorically holding them, like he's manipulating their destiny? And he has a sword that's on fire, so why put that on your own back? But okay.
But not only is it oversaturated, on this red right here, let's see if I can get it to show. It's like there's dents all in the cover.
Yep.
Look at that. It's like,
and
I know no one finger dented this whole cover. So that's just bad production.
And also design-wise, why is there that red mark going down? There is so much space there that's cutting away from the art. Now, I use that type of a style on my covers. Let me see if I have one of my books around here. But I use that space to put words there. I put text there.
Yeah, you would think something would be there, not just empty. I have no idea. But like every month the covers, I can't remember one Rogue Sun cover.
I don't think I have
and
any
it's
of
really
my
oversaturated on the back too. This is the worst physical comic I got this week. It's just terrible. The issue itself was solid. This wasn't one of the A+ comics of the week, but it was a solid B. Superhero story.
Yeah, so I use the black line. All my first issues, I have a black line going down the side, kind of a thing. But I use that to actually put the title of the book, for the purpose of, you never know how your book is going to be laying down on the comic book shop. So if you have books in front of it, you can see the logo. If you have books in front of it this way, you can see the logo. So that's why I use it for that type of thing. But to have a solid color, you don't get that much space for the cover that you can't read anyway. That's wild. Books are available on my eBay store.
Half of my images have ripples like that. Yeah, that's the oversaturated. That's available at your eBay store?
It's available on my eBay store, Ramos Comics.
All right.
But yeah, and like you mentioned, the ripples, I see that on a lot of comics as well.
Oh, by the way, I just noticed today that Carla Speed McNeil is selling her latest comic through her Etsy store. So her store just went live today. I'm a big Carla Speed McNeil fan. She does Finder, amongst other things. I think this story has nothing to do with Finder. It's a different one, but I'll be ordering it from her. One of my favorites.
Nice.
So if you're a Carla Speed McNeil fan, look her up on Etsy. I'm told Etsy's flooded with AI slop, but I haven't looked.
I haven't looked for comic books on Etsy
Yeah, neither have
itself.
I.
I usually use Etsy to find some action figures or customizations for action
Ah.
figures and stuff like that.
Can you get like remade parts? Like if your Spider-Man is missing an arm or whatever he's missing, and a accessory, can you find that stuff on Etsy?
You can find similar stuff. It's easier to find stuff like a reproduction of a accessory,
Yeah.
not necessarily a missing part for a figure itself. Most
Okay.
people will find another version of that figure and then swap the parts that way. That's a lot
Okay.
easier.
Yeah.
Um, for
But the
example,
accessories we can find.
yeah. So for an example, like I have here the action figures for Buck Rogers, which unfortunately Joe Girard just passed away.
Oh,
Uh,
that's right.
so I have these Twiggy action figures. These were out from the 80s, and they're each broken. As you can see,
Uh-huh.
each of their arms are missing. So I'm basically planning to, as you can see on this one, whoops, you can see on this one, I didn't mean to flip you guys off. On
Yeah.
this one, there's a screw hole. So once I remove the sticker from this one, I'll be able to take them both apart and then swap the arms. So I'll have one that's complete and then one that's broken. But most people will option that kind of a thing when they're refixing their toys. What usually will be 3D printed would be the accessories, the weapons, the helmets, things like that. And then that is also another. Remember, as you were saying, that there were levels of collectors
Yeah.
with comics. Same thing with toys. That you'll have people that wants the mint toy complete, practically still in its package. Other people are okay with buying a used one because it's a little less expensive. And then, like myself, I don't mind getting a used one that may be broken because I might be able to fix it. That type of thing. Then you have collectors who will not want a reproduction piece on it whatsoever. The Star Wars community is like that, where you have some that they'll be perfectly fine with a replica lightsaber, but you have other ones like no, it has to be the original ones released by Kenner. So there are variations, but yes, on Etsy you can find stuff like reproduction weapons, and then on the other end you also have people producing beautiful dioramas for your set of toys and
Ah.
things like that. And I do know that going back to Buck Rogers, many of their spaceships were made with a very delicate plastic that could easily break. So there are people who are making reproduction pieces for it, especially the part that's usually always missing, the canopy, one of the landing gears, or stuff like that. So you have people making the parts for the original toys, or you have people that are making a whole brand new um, ship for Buck Rogers. Because in the TV show, the ships were two-seaters. The toy was a one-seater. So you do have people creating these beautiful uh, reproduction ships that are more true to the show than, let's say, a toy line type of stuff. So yeah, and Etsy is usually where you could find that type of thing.
Let's see. A couple of comics. Etsy search is not great. Oh, okay. I bought a remarked graphic novel from Steve Lieber off of Etsy. Oh, that's good. It says Steve Lieber sold art from Etsy. Oh, I like Steve Lieber's art. He did Whiteout, right? He's done plenty of other things too. I can't remember what at the moment. But I've generally always liked his work. I just read something by him. I can't remember what it was. Who knows? Yawn. Huh, I've been up like at 4 a.m. the last 3 mornings for no reason. So couldn't sleep in the morning. I'm sleepy.
Yes. You have to stop taking walks.
I haven't taken a walk in a little while.
You gotta go
Maybe I
back
have
to
to
taking
start
walks.
again,
You
but
can be tired.
It's been cold out,
Yes, it definitely has.
except for today. It made it up to 52 Fahrenheit today. Let's see, another really good comic. This was excellent. Another A+. This is Die Loaded, issue number 2, by Stephanie Hans on art and Kieran Gillen writing it. And I'm so glad that a little Death Dealer. I'm so glad that I went back and reread the first series. Now I'm going to have to go. I reread it digitally, so now I'm going to have to get physical copies of it. But this is the one where in the first series, it was about these people trapped in a dimension that's sort of based on role-playing games. And now in the second series, some of the people who were like the one guy's wife is now trapped in it. He's not there, but his wife now went into this role-playing game, and another person's so we have a new group of people trapped in this role-playing game. And it's hard to describe the actual plot because it's so much has to do with running around this role-playing game world and trying to figure out how to get home. And the way you get home is your party, 5 or 6 people, whatever it was, have to get together in one place and say, the game is over. We want to go home now. But in the first story, one guy was dying. So he didn't want to necessarily go home right away. And there was a couple other people who had reasons to, and they all got separated at some point. And in this, they're all separated to begin with, who's ever in here. And you consult with, like, the one guy's, they all have different powers, and the one guy is a rage knight. He has to get angry to be powerful, and he's got a weapon. He's got a sword that constantly is trying to get him angry. The sword is his enemy. The sword just wants him angry. He doesn't care what happens to him. Then we've got another woman who consults with gods. So she can call on this set of like 6 gods, and she has to convince them to help her. And if they help her, she owes them something in return. And then another one had a voice. I forget what they were called. If she talked to you, you kind of had to do what she said. But the voice like only works on one person at a time. And once everybody knows you're this person, they don't want to be near you. So there's all these interesting powers and interesting villains and interesting things happening. So really, the first series was really good, and the second series is looking like it's going to be good too. So it's a Aisuke.
Isekai.
I'm not sure what that word is.
Isekai is a anime or a manga trope that usually a character gets hit by usually the van or a truck, and they wake up in another realm. And as far as I'm aware of, one of the rules is that you'll never go home. You live your life now in that other world. I'm not positive if that's the full extent of the rules, but that's the way it was explained to me.
Okay. They're definitely in another realm, but it was they got there because the game master wanted them there. Who is a god that lives outside time and space or something. They don't really know. They spent the whole first 20 issue series trying to figure out the rules. Besides the rule, they knew how to get home. But it took them 2 years to get home. They were missing in our world for 2 years.
No Youngblood number 2?
No Youngblood number 2. Can you believe it?
The comic was a little bit decompressed. Rob was trying to make Supreme relevant to the story.
You're reading them digitally, aren't you?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that in my LCS.
I guess most people aren't. Probably Youngblood only appeals to people who liked it the first time.
Yeah.
And people who like to complain about Rob.
I can see that being true.
But I guess younger people probably aren't attracted to Rob Liefeld's art or to the. I mean, you don't need to read any previous Youngblood to read this. So it's not like it's hard to get into.
Yeah, I guess if I don't know who would be reading Youngblood, but like I said, previous fans of Rob. He's got a lot of them, so I'm sure there's plenty of nostalgia for certain people in the Youngblood. And Rob was a person who got a lot of people into comics. So. The other really good comic for the week was Everything Dead and Dying. This is Jacob Phillips, right? That's the son. All of a sudden, I can't remember. Yeah. This is a really good zombie story. Because this is the one where in the first issue, it's also very emotional too. In the first issue, we meet the guy who the zombie apocalypse happened. He happens to be a farmer. He has been feeding and taking care of all the zombies in his little town. So they just go about their business. They're not monsters. They just they just go about whatever they were doing their last day. Whatever they did on that last day they were alive, they're still doing because they're not hungry. And that's the only thing that's in their mind. Something is that last day somehow. But then, of course, humans show up. And they're like, oh, my God, this guy's living with zombies. Kill the zombies. So he gets into conflict with them. Really emotional story in that second issue. We get his backstory because he's still living with his husband and his daughter, who are both zombies. But as long as he feeds them, they're okay. They just go, but they just go about their business. They're not. So he is completely crazed that these people are killing his husband and daughter. They're trying to. And then this issue was all about some other people in that because turns out they've come from another big town where they're running out of room. And they really like his setup here because he's got gates. He's got a working farm. They don't know how to farm. He's got a working farm. He's got some sort of mill that's powered somehow by the stream. I can't remember what. So like, we should take over this place. So there's all sorts of, and they have conflict within their own ranks too. So once again, it's a zombie story where the humans are really the monsters. But I'm really, really enjoying this one. And that's one of the reasons I'm in. Jacob Phillips is doing a story for Vertigo. I forget which one, but that's the one I'm going to try out.
How many issues have been published already?
4 so far. I think it's probably so far every series that Jacob Phillips has done is not been an ongoing, except for I think that Texas Blood lasted maybe a dozen issues. But I've seen him do a lot of minis in 5 and 6 issue series. So I don't know how long this one is going, but I'll stick with it because it's a good read. I don't like the logo very much because it's just type.
Yeah.
It's just that fancy type. He draws quite a bit like his father, Sean Phillips, but he's talented like his father. Yeah, you can definitely see his father's influence in him. Good stuff. Good stuff. What? But like I said, there were probably let me see here. Oh, we'll end with this one just because this is my last issue of Supernatural. It's not bad in any way, shape, or form. It's just not worth $5. Nice solid cover though. And Greg Pak is the writer. He's a solid writer. The artists are, I don't know why there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artists on this book. It's one story. Edgar Messias, Vincenzo Federici, Alessandro Rinaldi, Gerardo Gamboni, and Pasquale Qualino. Maybe they're a studio. Recognize any of those names, Paolo? Because they sound Italian to me.
They sound Italian, but I usually don't, because the Italians don't do runs. I mean, whenever I see the names of the authors in Bonelli comics, I never recognize them because they don't do that comic again for probably 6 months.
No,
because those comics are 100 pages.
Why you'd need 5 artists to do one issue, and the art styles are pretty well matched. I'll show you some of the art style. Like I said, if this was a $4 comic, I might stick with it. But a $5 comic means that you got to be an A-level comic, and this is a B. Plus, it's just the one that it puts ads in the middle of the book. I don't want that. I'm not paying $5 and having ads in the middle of the book. Put them at the end, like any self-respecting indie book does. And another thing that bothers me about this is that there are no good covers. It's like each issue has like 4 or 5 covers, and the best ones are the photo covers. So it's like, so that's like 3 issues I've gotten so far, and I've looked at all the covers, before I order them. I can order any cover. And I have never been able to decide. I'm looking through going, these are all terrible. There's nothing interesting about this cover. It's just the 2 boys in the car and some generic monsters behind them. Fire. I mean, it's like, and all the covers, that mid art. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. I've got no problem with mid art, not for $5. Because the storytelling, and that's the way almost all of these licensed books have mid art. Which is why I bought these Firefly books for their covers. Because they got a lot of good. Let me check out the art in this particular issue. I'm going to have to buy the issues I'm missing from this. The art in this is by Dan McDade. I think this is mid art. It's okay. There's a nice page when he doesn't have to do likenesses and can use his imagination. Like I said, this book, for all the mid art, has terrific covers. I got to figure, if your comic book is going to have 4 or 5 covers, one of them should be terrific by just the law of averages.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how Supernatural has got no covers I like. I find that hard to believe. But there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would say out of 10 books, 5 were A+. And then this was an A. These 2 were A's. And these 2 were probably B's.
Mm-hmm.
So I think out of 5, it was a really good week for comics for me. 5 A+, 3 A's, and 2 B's. That. You can see now why I was sad that superhero fans are not gonna be able to, embrace. They're not going to be able to experience that. We should have a read, rip, and slab that are all just the same issue, just with different covers. I think then we're just picking our favorite covers, but yeah.
Right. The cover should tell us if we want to buy the book or not.
Yeah.
So we can have a cover that tells us what the story is inside. One that is a very beautiful piece of art, but that's it. And one that offends our sensibilities.
I think we could do that with later. I think the place I get the covers from, Mike's Newsstand. What was the name of that?
Mike's Amazing World.
Mike's Amazing World. I think they have like all the variant. Like I'm not in the variant cover era when I'm choosing those, but I think you can find all the variant covers there.
Well, we could do a classic. I mean, Gen 13 #1.
But it wouldn't be a read, rip, and slab. It would just be a choose your favorite cover.
No, it's a read, rip, and slab. One cover tells us that we should read this comic. One cover is just pretty, so we'll slab it. And one cover is too stupid, so we rip it.
But the problem is they're all supposed to be equal when it's a read, rip, and slab. That wouldn't be much of a choice if they all fell into those categories.
Right.
The idea is it's supposed to be a hard choice.
I see the problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, maybe we can do something.
I think it's a good idea to have 3 covers. We can make some game out of it. We just have to work on it. Figure out what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Batman or IP from different eras. Usually when I put together the read, rip, and slabs, what I like to do is try to get books, like I said, that are all equal in some way. Like you can't throw Hulk 181 in any group based on issue number. It's like you can't throw Hulk 181 into any group because that's the one you're going to slab. You'd be an idiot not to.
No, yeah, because they will all have to be as equal. So, Hulk 181 and then Spider-Man 252. Anything that's a first appearance that has that much of an impact.
And when I'm putting them together, I also have to consider, like, I can't throw books in there that I know no one wants to read. Unless all 3 are books no one wants to read.
Right.
Like, I know I've failed when everyone picks the same book to rip. If I have one of these and everyone picks the same book to rip, I know I didn't do a good job, which has happened.
Don't beat yourself up.
I try not to. But I go, oh yeah, I see what I did wrong here. Yep.
You know, I think that the Gen 13 #1 covers, you are picking your favorite covers, but they are interesting. I mean, for a cash grab, the 13 covers of Gen 13 #1 were unique enough, given that the
We
concept
thought
was
that
not.
was the craziest thing we'd ever heard. 13 covers for one comic. That's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't think it felt like a cash grab at the time because no one else was really doing it that way. Usually, alternate covers was one or two of them type of thing. And by the time that came out, it was unique to itself.
Yeah. I didn't think of it as I thought it was a way to extra. I think one of the reasons we didn't think it was a cash grab was because who would be crazy enough to buy all 13 covers for one comic? That's what we thought. We were like, what? That's insane. Who's going to buy 13 covers? That's insane. Let's see. Different covers doesn't make them all bad. No. Sometimes there's a cover that is already and it features the character or one that is a part of a series by an artist. Yeah, I'm okay with alternate covers. I don't want to. I was just saying if Paulo was picking alternate covers in categories, well, then they're already in the categories. And many volumes of. Yeah, we compare different volumes, and yeah, that is more cover ranking. Well, I'm okay with cover. Not as bad as Walking Dead 150 plus. Yeah, exactly. It seems so naive that we thought 13 covers was crazy and out of this world. Walking Dead #1. There are so many. Well, they keep printing that. You could probably spend the next 10 years collecting Walking Dead #1 covers and not have them all. There are so many variations. I think it was on mycomicshop.com. There was like 160. I can't even remember the number now. We looked at it. I looked at it a couple months ago. That's how I got my Dean Haspiel version. I didn't know he did one. Hold on, let's show that off now. Let's see if I can get it.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Walking Dead cover that's of issue #1 done with the live action actor. Just setting up the whole thing to be like that and have a picture of it.
This is my Dean Haspiel Walking Dead #1. I think it's from a Comic-Con. Dean, I went to college with Dean. He's a friend of mine. Wizard World Rally 2015 exclusive. Reprints Walking Dead #1. Wizard World Rally Edition. Dean Haspiel cover. I found out that I don't know why I was looking at one. I was like, oh, Dean's got one. And it was like $20 or $25 for it unslabbed and like $35 for a 9/8 slab. I was like, may as well get the slabbed version. So there are so many Walking Dead #1.
But you know which is the one that have to have, right?
What was that?
The one that is a must-have in our collection is the Chris Giarrusso Walking Dead.
I do have a Chris Giarrusso. It's Walking Dead #1 homage. Was that a Walking Dead #1, Chris?
No, it was. I think it was 103.
103. He did the homage cover to Walking Dead #1.
Oh, okay.
That was a little more expensive to get in a 9/8. I think it was last week on my Top of the Printer comics. I had a Chris Giarrusso Encounter cover on my. I don't know if you've ever watched my comic book haul video, Chris, but every week I usually put out on the top of my printer, I put 2 comics from my collection, usually a Marvel DC and an indie comic. And I just kind of look at them all week, the covers. Had an encounter number 3, was it, or 4?
What was on it?
There were 4 characters. Encounter was in the background fighting someone, and in the foreground were 2 other characters. I don't have to go over here and see if I can pull it out. Hold on. Now I gotta know.
I gotta know.
It was encounter number 6. There's the one.
Oh, yeah.
Some battle scenes going on.
That might be my favorite from the whole run.
I picked it out. Might be my favorite too. I picked it out and put it on top of the printer. Champion is here to save the day. Move over, encounter. Nice cover.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Have you got any other covers in the pipeline?
They just announced today, or they put a video out today about all the blind bag for Ultimate Endgame. Which I think is next week? I think either next week or the week after.
So you're one of the blind bags?
So I'm maybe about 50 blind bags. They're one of a kind sketch covers. So me and a bunch of other artists actually did physical art. So this is a blind bag where you can get physical art in it.
So
I think people are already misunderstanding because I posted it everywhere and people are like, oh, I'm definitely ordering these.
Yeah.
Well,
okay. So I just got a Scott Koblish did a cover for DCKO. It was a blind bag issue 1. All the covers were in blind bags. You would get one of the 12 covered. There are no sketches. But so I had to buy his off of eBay because there's no way I'm buying a whole bunch of blind bags to. But yours isn't like one of 15 covers. Yours is a sketch cover, a hand draw. Yours is a prize.
It's each one. Yeah. So there's several one of one.
Okay.
They're all unique. It's like it's a sketch. It's literally a sketch cover. They sent us the covers. We drew on them. We sent them back. So.
But it's a prize rather than an alternate cover like Scott's was.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it'll be on it'll still be.
Yeah, it's on a cover. It's on a yeah. I get it. I was just, but it's nothing you can order or if you're going to buy it on eBay.
Nobody can say, and I think people are already getting this wrong. Like you can't just order the Chris G cover.
Right. There we go. Lottery covers.
Yeah, lottery.
That's okay.
It. That's what they're called, lottery covers, which might be a crime to call them lottery covers. I'm not sure. Because there's rules to lotteries, and if you don't follow them all.
I think maybe they're going to be under the Chase banner. Because I know eventually that's what they had to do with the cards.
Right.
That they're Chase cards. So you're not guaranteed anything in particular, but there's a chance you could find this particular item. I remember that was something going on with the sketch cards at the time. I was hoping to announce a cover I would have out coming up in January, but I haven't heard back if they're going to use it or not. So I'm kind of waiting to see if I'll have a cover that I colored out either in the stands or if it was going to be used as a exclusive cover for, I think, their online store. I'll leave it at that because I have no idea whether or not this thing is going to be released.
Ah,
So I was hoping to make the announcement today for January, but I'm still waiting to hear.
next week. Blind
Hopefully
bags
so.
are a gamble. Blind bags are like buying packs of cards.
But if you want, like, if you're just a person that I want to read that comic,
There's
you'll
a
get the
regular
comic
one.
no matter what.
Yeah.
You just don't know what's on the cover.
Right. I saw a bunch of let's see. Don the comic book junkie got a there's a new Mark Spears blind bag was out this week. So people are getting that. He sold I can't people are like crazy for those blind bags sometimes. They love the I don't know how Mark Spears draws 60 covers, but there's a lot because I think that and supposedly they did a better job at mixing them up this time. Mm-hmm.
I do know when I was in the comic book shop last week, there was a customer asking, is there a limitation on the next one? I'm not sure if it was his particular blind bag ones, but
Mm-hmm.
he said he has at least 3 other coworkers that are interested in getting 4 copies of the books.
Oh, it's crazy.
And it was like, and he was trying to find out because, sometimes depending on the title, some shops will say, 1 per customer and things like that. So they were saying that so far they're not limiting the amount people are buying,
Right.
but it was fascinating to hear about the the way people have been liking that particular thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like whatnot dealers are buying them by the case and open them and selling them the individual issues or sell you a blind. It's like amazing to me how well those Mark Spears blind bags have been doing.
Right.
Because I'd never buy blind bag. I would never spend that much money buying blind bags. There's a cover I'd like buy it off eBay if I had to have it. Like I did with Scott's cover for KO #1. Cost me a couple bucks extra, but my other choice was to buy blind bag after blind bag. All right, we should wrap up. We're getting near the end.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my balloons? There we go. Next week we'll be on Paolo's channel.
That's right. We'll be in between Christmas and the weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, Christmas is on Thursday, which is no Christmas. Yeah, Christmas is on Thursday.
Yeah, December 26th is next Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I know because I might be a little late or I might not.
Mm-hmm.
Be a little late. I'm going to my aunt's that day, but in the daytime, I should be home by 6.
Mm-hmm.
It'll
But
be our
we'll
after
see.
Christmas special.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'll only be busy on Christmas Day. On Friday, probably won't do anything because if I do anything again, it'll be on Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone have a good week out there.
Take care, everybody, and Merry Christmas.
See ya. Merry Christmas.
We'll catch you next time. Let us end that stream.